In this video, we're going to talk about fat digestion and absorption. We will also talk about the causes of fat malabsorption and the clinical manifestations of this. Fat is an important component of our diet. It is both a protective and also it contributes to heart disease, depending on the type of fat. In its complete form, the fats are made up of a lot of triglycerides, and triglycerides are essentially where you have three fatty acids combined to a glycerol backbone. Our body needs to break down this structure into its building blocks in order to absorb it into our body and use it as we wish. Fat breakdown begins in the mouth with lingual lipase and mastication. Lipase hydrolyzes and breaks down lipids, the fats. The partially digested lipids travel to the stomach to be further greeted by the gastric lipase. The broken down lipids are still in triglyceride chunks, which move into the duodenum, bringing with it the acidity from the stomach. Fat droplets and the acidity from the stomach will stimulate the small intestinal cells to produce two important hormones: cholecystokinin, CCK, and secretin. CCK stimulates bile production and secretion. CCK also stimulates pancreatic enzyme release, known as the pancreatic juice. Secretin, on the other hand, will stimulate bicarbonate secretion from the pancreas. And this is in order to raise the intraluminal pH to approximately 6.5, which is the optimum sort of environment for fat digestion. So let's put it all together and look at the lipids that have just entered the small intestine and are going to be exposed to the bile and the pancreatic enzyme, specifically the lipase. Bile, specifically bile salts, help with emulsification of lipids, basically coating it, and this allows for digestion by the pancreatic lipases. Pancreatic lipase will help break down the triglycerides further into fatty acids and the monoglycerides and help form what we know as micelles. These micelles are essentially a ball composed of the broken down products of fat, the building blocks of fat. Micelles are composed of bile salts, the fatty acids, the monoglycerides, cholesterol, and all this is coated also by phospholipids. Now, in this form, the monoglycerides and the fatty acids are able to be transported and absorbed across the apical membrane of enterocytes, mainly in the proximal 2/3 of the jejunum, which is essentially the middle part of the small intestine. The bile salts themselves remain in the intestinal lumen because they do not get reabsorbed here. They actually reach the terminal ileum, where they are actively reabsorbed and enter the portal circulation into the liver. And this cycle is known as the enterohepatic circulation. Entero as in intestine and hepatic as in liver. So the bile salts that are reabsorbed here and are in the liver are then essentially recycled and resecreted into bile to be used again. The fatty acids and the monoglycerides, which were absorbed in the jejunum, will be packaged up in the cells to form fully mature chylomicrons. And these chylomicrons will then bind to the basolateral membrane and is transported to the intestinal lymphatics. And from the intestinal lymphatics, it will then enter the general circulation to be transported around our body. Now, it's also important to know that vitamins such as vitamins A, D, E, and K, or ADIC, rely on fats to be absorbed in the jejunum, while vitamins B and C are more water soluble and they do not rely on fat absorption or digestion. So fat malabsorption, which is when you have deficiency of fat or you're not absorbing and digesting fats properly, will cause someone to have pale and voluminous stool, diarrhea without flatulence, as well as steatorrhea. Further, the fat-soluble vitamins we mentioned earlier, you can also have deficiency of these. So ADIC. If you have vitamin A deficiency, you can develop follicular keratosis and night blindness. Vitamin D deficiency, osteopenia, weak bones, osteomalacia, and osteoporosis. Vitamin E deficiency, neuromuscular disorders, and hemolysis can occur. And vitamin K deficiency, you get easy bleeding. So what are the different etiologies of fat malabsorption? Well, a good way to think about it is think about problems along the fat digestion pathway and absorption. So if we look at the first part of fat digestion, we see that gastric lipase has a role in fat digestion. And so problems with the stomach, including a previous gastric surgery, can cause some form of fat malabsorption. Another cause of fat malabsorption is bile salt deficiency, because bile salts are needed in the digestion of fat. So things such as chronic liver disease, including cirrhosis, which will cause a decrease in bile acid synthesis. You have cholelithiasis. Any cause of biliary system obstruction reduces the secretion of bile. Terminal ileal disease such as Crohn's disease or resection, because really you're not reabsorbing the bile salts, if you remember, through the enterohepatic circulation. Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is when you have overgrowth of certain bacteria which deconjugates bile acids, rendering the bile acids ineffective for fat absorption. Then another category of the causes of fat malabsorption are problems with the pancreatic enzyme, so pancreatic insufficiency. The causes include pancreatitis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatic cancer, autoimmune pancreatitis, cystic fibrosis, amyloidosis, hemochromatosis, which are infiltrative disease, and very importantly, Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which is when you have inactivation of pancreatic lipases because the environment is so acidic in the duodenum. Another category are mucosal defects, so disease involving the small intestine, the epithelial lining. So celiac disease causes villous atrophy, lymphoma. You have small bowel ischemia or inflammation resection, so you can't absorb anything. Inflammatory bowel disease. Infiltrative diseases such as amyloidosis and hypogammaglobulinemia. And Whipple's disease. Finally, another category that causes fat malabsorption are to do with the final end part where transportation of fat occurs, and that's really problems with the lymphatic system. So things such as cancer infiltrating the lymphatics can cause obstruction and flow of the absorbed fat from the intestine. Intestinal lymphangiectasia, which is basically it disrupts the lymphatic movement of the chylomicrons, which are absorbed. So in summary, fat digestion involves lingual lipase, gastric lipase, pancreatic lipase, as well as bile acids secreted from the biliary system. Fats are absorbed in the jejunum, and the bile salts are not absorbed here, rather they are reabsorbed in the terminal ileum where they enter the enterohepatic circulation. The clinical manifestation of fat malabsorption is steatorrhea and pale stools. And the different causes can be easily divided into the sections of fat digestion, including bile acid issues, pancreatic issues, mucosal issues, as well as the lymphatic issues and gastric issues. Thank you for watching.